Welcome to Dollars and Cents TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Todd Bauman and Vincent Garaventa of Bauman Wealth Advisors. And to our viewers at home, we're going to talk about a very important subject today. We're going to talk about why accumulation strategies fail in distribution. And think about that for a little bit, if you will. You've worked your entire life, you've saved money into a nest egg, and you've amassed a nest egg. But now it's time to turn on the distribution phase of your life. Why do sometimes people fail with that? That's what today's show is all about. Thank you for being with us. Viewers at home, Todd, how are you today?
I'm awesome, Cynthia. How are you?
Fantastic.
Yay.
Excited to be with you, and so excited to be with you. Vinny, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking. And this subject is so important, and I'm so glad that you decided to talk about this today, because we're told to work, we save our money, we put it away in the 401k, but there's less talk about what actually comes next. People have no idea what to do. Todd, can you shed some light on that? Why is it so confusing?
Yeah, Cynthia, because when you're working, you're in the accumulation phase of your life, and your goal is to build up this nest egg, right? And then get retired and then to live off of that, right? But what people are making the mistake is when they go to retire, they're still in the accumulation phase. So they're taking more risk than what they should be taking, right? And so it's very important to look to do that diversification along with rolling over your 401k, that you've been working and contributing to your whole life, right?
Yes.
And so corporations have gotten to the point where they decided back in the late 70s, to shift that burden over from themselves to the employee, and then create a 401k so people can contribute to that and put the responsibility on them. And now it's all on you to figure out how to do that.
Yes, because we've seen a lot of pensions go by the wayside, correct, Vinny?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Back in the day, for previous generations, the risk of growing money and creating income was really on the employers, and that shifted now to the employees. And the silver lining that I see in all that, though, is that people now get more opportunity to kind of shape their own plan and build it out through the context of their life and what they need the money to do for them. And it creates more freedom in retirement.
And I also want to ask you, does it also add complexity, if you will, because you are responsible for charting your own path. You have no guidance. It can be confusing. Talk a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, that is something that we see quite a bit of, is the idea of all of these decisions coming into play. That added freedom and flexibility does cause people to now have more decisions they have to make on their own. And so getting into retirement, there's more things that we have to navigate. The goal is no longer just growth. We have to start thinking about protection and how we're going to generate income and what that's going to look like from a tax standpoint. And there's just more factors to consider. And so in doing that, I think with that complexity becomes more important to be able to address these things simply, and to be able to really look at it through a clear view with a clear lens, and maybe work with somebody that can help navigate that and simplify those complexities. I think now more than ever, that's very important.
Most definitely. And we've heard a lot of people, Todd, talk about the big box firms, if you will. Talk a little bit about the benefit of working with Bauman Wealth Advisors, because you like to simplify things. You design a plan that's going to suit that client's need. And you also focus in on the distribution phase of life, which is very important to clarify, because that is a big thing that people need to be aware of.
Absolutely, absolutely, Cynthia. So we take a family office approach. I learned about this concept like 20 plus years ago, where you can come into a firm and have all of the services done for you all under one roof. And when I learned about that, I thought that was absolutely amazing. And so when you come into our firm, Bauman Wealth Advisors, we're able to build you that financial plan, build you that income plan for distribution when you're going into retirement, do the tax planning and tax preparation all in-house, along with the estate plan and preparation all in-house. So we have taken that coach to your team, right? And the whole goal of that is to take the complexity off of you, right? And allow you to have that financial freedom so you can hopefully start living your best life. That's what our whole goal about is, to bring it all together for you, take that pressure off of you, and then just truly live your whole life. Because think about it, Cynthia, when you're working, that's a lot of time that you've spent your whole life working to build up your investments in your retirement account. And so do you really want to be spending that same amount of time in retirement trying to figure it all out, or do you want to work with somebody who can bring all that to the table for
Most
you
definitely.
and let you just live that life that you've been wanting to live?
And I think it's so important to talk about the fact that these are customized plans that you design for the people that come into your office for your future clients, because a lot of times people think that a statement is a plan, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about really making sense of what you have so that you understand exactly what your retirement will look like. And Vinny, that is such a blessing that you offer the clients that come in, because a lot of times people are very unsure of where they stand, and maybe they just want to know that they're on track. What advice do you have for those folks?
I think it's really important that on the front end, right out of the gate, we have to first and foremost understand where we're at now and where things are trending.
Yes.
So the critical first step is really looking under the hood. And like we've talked about, there's some added complexities that come into play as we navigate from that accumulation phase into the distribution phase. And I think it's very tough to go about that on our own. And so my advice would really be for folks that are maybe nearing retirement, that are getting into retirement, or that have been living in retirement, to talk with somebody, come in and talk to us and see where you're at. We'll look under the hood, we'll look through what you have going on, we'll give you a clear view of where things are trending, how you're set up, where your portfolio is invested, where you might have some risk, where you might want to think about navigating differently. We'll shed light on all of that, and it's not a commitment on either side. We're not, agreeing to take someone on as a client.
Yes.
People aren't agreeing to come on as a client necessarily. It's really just to get that first look to see where are we at.
Most definitely. And Todd, are you finding that most people are coming in for the first time and they just want to know, am I going to be okay? Is that the number one question that you hear quite often?
Yes, it is, Cynthia. We have a 3-step process, and the first step is called our dream appointment. And so that's where people are coming in, and we're making sure that they don't have the problems. We're making sure if they do, we're going to bring them to their attention. And then we also, even though we're financial advisors, Cynthia, we're kind of like life coaches as well, because what we're finding is most people are not living their best life, right? And so we're helping them shed light on how they could live their best life and making sure that they are on the right track. And if not, we'll give them solutions to get on the right track. And then we give it all back to them. And like Vinny was saying, if you want to come on board with us, love the opportunity. And if not, it's okay.
Yes, I love that. Well, Todd and Vinny, we're going to take our very first commercial break. To our viewers at home, we invite you to call the number on your screen. But what are you calling in for? You're calling in for a complimentary consultation. Let Todd and Vinny get to know you one-on-one. What are your goals? What are your dreams? And what are your hopes for retirement? And most importantly, do you have a plan in place that will help you get there? If you're finding a lot of this to be confusing when you turn on the news every night and you're not sure what's really happening in the financial world, this call could be life-changing. And again, we invite you, call the number on your screen. It's as simple as that, and schedule that complimentary consultation today. If you're rushing out the door, we've made it even simpler. You can open up your camera app on your smartphone and simply click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That is the fast track to get on the schedule of Bauman Wealth Advisors. We're going to take a very short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about how the face of retirement has indeed changed and how that affects your distribution overall. Stay tuned. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Ben. Hey, birthday party for Carol and 5. Happy birthday to you.
Good morning, Ben. Happy Monday.
Daryl's birthday, be there or be square. Happy birthday to you. As you can see from our quarterly report on slide number 62, we're trending in the right direction. All signs point to a very positive outlook for the next several years. If you peel back the onion even
have anything to add?
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Welcome back to Dollars and Cents TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Todd Bauman. He is founder and CEO of Bauman Wealth Advisors, as well as joined by Vincent Garaventa, Vice President of Bauman Wealth Advisors. And if you're just tuning in now, we're talking all about segueing into the retirement phase of your life, working your entire life, getting to the retirement years, and then all of a sudden, you're responsible for creating your own income stream. So thank you for being with us. And gentlemen, I guess I could use a football analogy, and I'm not really good at football, so let me just take a look here. So working on the offense, we're trying to get more yards, and we're trying to gain, but then we get into that time where the defense has to protect, preserve, and secure. What is the big advice you give, Vinny? Did I do that well with football?
Yeah, I think that was
Okay.
pretty spot on.
Awesome. Gosh, that makes me feel good.
And I do love that analogy because it's so real. When we're working and we're saving, maybe we're first starting off investing, generally our goal is to grow our money, to grow our investments, and that's the primary objective. Now, as we transition and get closer and closer to that retirement deadline, or when we're going to maybe shift out of working and get into that distribution phase, it's going to take different strategies. It's going to take kind of different fundamentals, and a big change is the mindset as well. So when we think about it, it's like when you're first starting off and we have market volatility and the market's down.
Yes.
We know we have time to recover. So there's always that element of it, that we aren't on as much of a time crunch as when we're maybe 5 years out from retirement, or if we're actively in retirement.
True.
So the mindset shift is very big. But then you apply it to all the different factors that come into play when we really think about financial planning. And if you think about it, when it comes to income, for example, when you're working, you generate income from your earnings. You go to work, you get a paycheck.
Yes.
When you're in retirement, you have to decide, if you're lucky enough to be one of the ones that has a pension, what type of distribution strategy you're going to have with that. Are you going to take a lump sum? Are you going to take it monthly? Are you going to have different spousal benefit options? There's a lot of different decisions there. Then same with Social Security. When are you going to take it? Are you going to take it early? Are you going to wait? There's a lot of decisions that come into play with that. In addition to that, there's your income from your portfolio, where you're going to
Yes.
withdraw money from, which accounts, which investments you're going to sell to free up cash to withdraw. So there's a lot of decisions that need to get made when, in those earlier years, you're not having to think about that stuff. Coming into the investment side of things, we're going from a growth objective primarily to, we still need to grow our money in retirement, but we also have to think about protection and distributing it and creating income with it. So there's more factors at hand there.
Yes.
With taxes, for example,
Yes.
generally we're working, we pay taxes on what we earn. When we're distributing income, it depends on which types of accounts we're pulling money out of. That's going to determine what our taxes look like, which investments we sell, and those decisions that we make along the way also, in addition to that, will impact how our Social Security is taxed and how our other income is taxed.
Okay.
So it all plays together. And there's all these other things we want to think about as we get older, as time goes on. We want to think about healthcare planning, unexpected expenses that might come up, things like long-term care. We always want to be thinking about that. And we also are going to look at estate planning differently over time as well, when we think about the differences between when you're working and growing your investment portfolio and growing your estate versus when you've built it up
Yes.
to be a larger kind of nest egg, and more important, to have some sort of estate plan in place. And so it's navigating all these things that adds complexity, and is definitely a shift, like what you said, from
Yes.
offense to defense.
Yes, and it's so comprehensive when I listen to you explain it that way, and I love the fact that it encompasses everything that's important in someone's retirement. One of the things that you brought up when you mentioned portfolio and investments, I do want to ask you a question. As someone's getting into the retirement red zone, if you will, or close, should their philosophy change? Should their strategy change? Should they be more conservative? Is it okay to still be aggressive? How do you see a portfolio shifting to make sure that they can have peace of mind?
It's a great question. And another great analogy. I like the idea of being in that retirement red zone. As you're getting closer and closer, you're definitely going to want to reassess your portfolio and reassess the risk that you take. Now, there is a risk that there's a lot of rules of thumb out there that we don't necessarily just want to apply blindly in every situation. For example, not everybody is going to want to have the same mix between stocks and bonds in their portfolio. And there's a lot of kind of set it and forget it strategies out there that will automatically move from stocks and into bonds, or just getting more conservative or safer over time. And in my experience, I think it's much better to actually make a plan that's built around your situation,
Yes.
what it is that makes you unique, what you need your money to really do for you. And I think it comes down to really two things. You want to look at financially, by the numbers, what makes sense for you from a portfolio standpoint. But something you never want to ignore either is your feelings about it and your philosophy about money. And really, is this the type of thing that maybe keeps you up at night when the market's in calamity or when we're
Yes.
experiencing volatility? We have to put some emphasis on things like that.
Most definitely, because when you think about it, like you mentioned earlier, when you're working and you're accumulating, if you take a loss, right, you have time to make it up, but you don't have as much time when you're in retirement. So Todd, would you say overall that losses hurt more than gains help when you're thinking about someone's retirement plan?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like what you said, Cynthia, is the time. You know, you don't have
Yes.
20 or 30 years to make that back up. And I've seen time and time again where people have come in and we've advised them that, you know, we think you're a little too aggressive for where you're at in your life, right? Going into retirement, already retired. And if something like that happens, we've seen people actually change their whole retirement. Vacations didn't happen, as many maybe, you know. Even had one gentleman go back to work because he was too aggressive, was taking out too much money, and he actually went and picked up a part-time job to make up because it greatly impacted his retirement. And that, I think it all comes back down to what Vinny said so eloquently, is you need to have plans in place, right?
Yes.
And then having this plan will give you that clarity. And so many people, Cynthia, don't have plans. Like
No.
it's every day, we see it day in and day out. They don't have the plans. And that's one of the things that we can bring to the table, you know, and help people put some clarity,
And
confidence. Yeah, and
peace of mind.
Peace of mind, you nailed it.
Well, and I think about that because I think there's often confusion. Like people think they have a plan. You walk out to the mailbox every day, or not every day, but when you go, you have a statement that you pull out maybe once a month, and you think that that's your plan. But that's not a plan. We're talking about something totally different. We're talking about the retirement years and having a comprehensive plan. Let's offer that to the viewers. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. To the viewers at home, call the number on your screen. And what are you calling in for today? The opportunity to come into the office of Bauman Wealth Advisors and let the gentleman get to know you one-on-one. Let Todd and Vinny ask you some questions about yourself, your goals, your dreams, and your hopes for retirement. Once they learn that about you, they can design a plan that's going to weather any storm. Remember, these are the retirement years. You've worked your entire life to get there. You deserve to have peace of mind, and it's so simple to do. All you have to do is call the number on your screen, or you can actually just grab your smartphone, open up the camera app, click the QR button at the bottom corner of your screen. That'll take you right to the landing page of Bauman Wealth Advisors. You can schedule your time accordingly. You've worked your entire life to get to the retirement years. You deserve to have a comprehensive plan that's going to put everything in place for you and easy to understand. We'll be right back momentarily on Dollars and Cents TV. Don't go anywhere.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back to Dollars and Cents TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Todd Bauman and Vincent Garaventa of Bauman Wealth Advisors. And what we're talking about today is the importance of having a comprehensive retirement plan. You were offered the complimentary consultation. You're probably wondering, what does that consist of? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So Todd, I want to ask you, when someone calls in and they book that complimentary consultation, what can they expect to receive from you and Vinny?
Well, first things first, we have amazing cookies when you come in the office.
Yay!
Yeah, that are
I'm there.
that are baked by Cammie, and she's amazing, by the way. Yeah, so when you come in, Cynthia, it's our dream appointment. So you're going to sit down with possibly Vinny or one of our other team members,
okay,
and we're just going to go through everything with you. We encourage you to bring everything in so we can take a look at it, your statements, your tax return, your estate planning documents. We have a ton of questions to ask you. We encourage you to bring all your questions, right?
Okay.
We're going to deep dive into why do you have this? Why do you have that? What's your life expectancy? What do you want to do with your money? What are your experiences? Do you want to buy stuff? Do you want to travel? Like, what does all this look like? And then we're going to go put all that together, and we're going to build your dream, whatever that is. Your travel.
I love this.
Yeah, we're going to build your dream. And when we get back together for the second appointment, it's called our Create appointment because we created that dream for you. Okay? And we're going to share that with you. And we have analyzed your investments. So we're going to let you know, how are they performing compared to its peers? Could you be doing better or not? Right? And we're going to share that with you. We're going to share with you the fee structure, because what I learned from my mentor a long time ago is you've got to watch the fees, Cynthia.
Yes.
Hands down, they add up over time. So you've got to be very cognizant of what these investments are costing you, right? We're going to dive into the income. Vinny is amazing with building income plans for clients.
Okay.
Some of the things he's built, I'm like, wow.
That is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I just like, I'm like, I was really impressed with some of the things he's done for our clients, right?
Okay.
And then, we're looking at the tax situation. Are you paying enough taxes too much? Or is there Roth conversions available in there for tax-free income for you or your heirs, blah, blah, blah. We're looking at the estate planning. Are all the beneficiaries set up properly? What does that look like? Should you become incapacitated? The whole thing. We're going to report it back to you, and then we give it all back to you, and then the ball's in your court. And you
Perfect.
do whatever you want. We would love the opportunity to work with you, obviously.
Yes.
But if not, it's okay. We want you walking out of our door with an amazing experience.
And you've made a new friend.
And you made a new friend.
Which is great. So, Vinny, I want to ask you, on your day-to-day experience in the office, what are some of the common pitfalls that you see for the people that are coming in when it comes to their retirement planning?
Well, I'd say I can't blame anyone for some of the pitfalls that people face today, especially knowing that some of the strategies, some of the things that work, we've talked about these two different phases, accumulation versus the distribution phase. Some of the things that work best when we're in that accumulation phase are actually potentially going to hurt us when we're entering into retirement, when we're entering into that new phase of life. For example, like some of the common quotes that you might hear, like buy the dip. Buying the dip. When the market comes down, you want to scoop up more. And, when you're working and you're consistently earning a paycheck, earning a wage, and you're adding to your investments, yeah, that's very applicable. But if we're trying to do that constantly in retirement when we're maybe already withdrawing money, then what ends up happening sometimes is people have to have money on the side to be able to buy those dips.
Yes.
And it leads to the risk of market timing. And we know that we don't want to try and time the market. We don't want to try and guess. No one has a crystal ball. So that's not the type of thing that we can consistently achieve over the long run, always knowing when it's going to go in which direction.
It's true.
And so what happens is people are kind of sitting on the sidelines and eventually missing out on
Yes.
potential. At the same time, there's other things that people will say a lot of that work great in accumulation, like just wait it out. Just wait it out.
Yep.
Don't make any knee-jerk reactions. And in a general sense, that's very true. But what has to happen on the front end is that you have to have the right plan in place first in order to rely on that advice. So you have to have the right types of investments in place. You want to have enough safe money. You want to have enough diversification so that you can withstand those sort of storms in the market. You can't just have a hand-picked basket of a few companies that you heard something about at the water cooler or something like that and just assume that they'll always come back.
Right.
Because with any one individual company or any one individual investment for that matter, you really never know. And so
very true.
I think that's a really important factor to consider, is that you have to do the work on the front end. You have to have the right plan in place in the beginning, so that you don't have to then make those knee-jerk reactions or act reflexively when the market kind of shakes things up.
Yes, because that'll always happen. You have to make sure that you have peace of mind. And obviously, Todd, having a comprehensive, holistic retirement plan gives you peace of mind, because you know that no matter what happens in the market, that you're going to be okay. And that's the type of plans that you design.
Absolutely. And we encourage our clients to spend their money in retirement. That's why you've worked all these years to build it up.
Yes.
Right? Because you only have so much time from the day you retire to, in the last 30 years, I've come up with this bracket of 78 to 82 years of age is when we start to see clients really start to slow down, Cynthia.
Of course.
Exactly, right? And so it's crucial that, you blow it out. Spend your money.
Yes.
Have fun. We used to have the 4% rule. Spend more, right? And even if it comes down, because at some point you're not going to be spending that money because you can't, because your hips hurt or you're tired or you've done it. So it'll eventually, hopefully, grow back.
Yes.
And you'll be fine. It's a win-win for you and your heirs.
So have fun in the go-go years, and then you can slow down, and then the no-go.
Yes.
Go-go, slow-go, no-go.
Yes, that's right.
I love that.
Yes, yeah.
I love that.
Perfect. To our viewers at home, we are giving you the opportunity to call in today and to book that complimentary consultation. Again, we invite you, call the number on the screen. The number, as you know, is right there, but we want you to have peace of mind in your retirement years. That's the most important thing that you're being offered today. A holistic retirement plan will give you peace of mind so that when you go to bed at night, you can sleep well knowing that no matter what the market does, you're going to be okay. And that's the most important piece. If you're rushing out the door, we invite you to grab your smartphone, open up the camera app, and simply click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That's the fast track to get on the schedule of Bauman Wealth Advisors. We know that you have a lot of questions for these gentlemen. They have the answers for you. And again, all you have to do is call the number on your screen. You're being offered the complimentary consultation for peace of mind. Thank you for spending time with us today on Dollars and Cents TV. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We look forward to seeing you back here 1 week from today. Take care now.